suddenly discovered that the eggs were hollow, and not just one, but an entire carton of eggs was completely empty inside. I assumed the eggs had simply gone bad and didn't think much of it, but while I was wiping the window, the wall behind me slowly began moving closer. Within seconds, my face was pressed hard against the glass, leaving me unable to move and barely able to breathe, and then the wall strangely returned to its original position. I told myself it must have been an illusion. As I continued cleaning the glass, I noticed my breath was still fogged on the surface, and that was when I realized everything that had just happened was real. Suddenly, I remember the first day I moved here, when all the neighbors wore cheerful smiles, except for Jaime.
We shouldn't be here.
To prove whether I was dreaming or not, I grabbed plastic wrap and tightly wrapped it around my head, layer by layer. And just before I could no longer breathe, I tore it off and knew for sure this was not a dream. I quietly boarded a bus, wanting to see if there were any people at all outside this so-called utopian neighborhood. At that moment, I saw a smoking airplane in the sky, and then it crashed into a mountain not far away. I urged the driver to head toward the crash to help, but he said he was going back and showed no concern for what had happened. With no other choice, I got off the bus and walked toward the crash site myself. After walking for a long time, I couldn't find any trace of the plane, and just as I climbed over a hill, I saw a building in the distance. I thought there would be people there, but when I got closer, it was just a simple structure, and unease began to rise in my chest. I reached out to touch the glass, and suddenly, a red light flashed before my eyes, and everything went dark. When I woke up again, I found myself back at home, and what frightened me even more was that my husband was still in the kitchen cooking, but something about him felt wrong. I quickly told him everything that had just happened, but he calmly said, "I must have been dreaming." With no other choice, I collapsed into his arms, seeking comfort. The next day, I received a phone call from Jaime.
They're lying to all of us.
And thinking she was unstable, I immediately hung up. I went to the dance studio to practice, but during rehearsal, I suddenly noticed Jaime appearing in the mirror. What made it even more terrifying was that she was copying my movements step by step, and the sight left me completely frozen. Before I could react, I turned around and saw something that made my blood run cold.